What is going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this broadcast, we're going to be continuing our series trying to turn the Minnesota Twins into a World Series winner here on MLB The Show 22. So where we last left off, we're now in the off season of 2023, approaching the 2024 season. And there's some roster things that we have to deal with here. As you can see, kind of already have a full 40-man roster. We're going to just take a look, make sure that none of our A and B level potential players that are not on the 40 are Rule 5 eligible, because we want to make sure we maintain those players as long as possible. All right. We have to deal with arbitration that we've already offered and contracts that we've already tendered out. So quite a few dollars already on the books here. Obviously, one of which is the main piece of the off season, which is Shohei Ohtani in this upcoming free agency class. So definitely some things that we have to kind of take a look at. I think that we have a solid enough starting rotation in the front half of it. If we can add a guy like Shohei to this mix where we can kind of drop down from these guys here, I think our bullpen has been completely revamped and is extremely good. So really we need one other starter, possibly two. Then as far as the lineup is concerned, I like this lineup a lot. There are some spots for improvement, but I think that overall there's an opportunity here for some things to kind of play out pretty well. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how things shake out with some of these contracts that we've offered. Julio Urias ends up with the Giants, 6 years, $199.2. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and see what more we can do here with this roster. Now, the thing that we're faced with in dealing with this roster situation is that, as you can see, Luis Castillo re-signed with the Mariners, 6 years, $143.4. Hector Neris re-signed with the Astros, 4 years, $40. So quite a few players on our side have re-upped. So let's take a look and see kind of where things shake out. Yeah. So there's a ton of money on the books right now. And that's really where the problem comes down to, is that, like, you know, we have all these arbitration cases, and that's really where a lot of this is coming from. All right, we're gonna go ahead, sim through a couple days. Let's see. All right, so we're about where we're gonna be unless we start offering some other arbitration eligible players contracts for them to sign. But we're gonna run into some financial issues right now. So we're gonna have to try to make some moves here. Because what we're gonna find is that we are in a position where, let's see, Smeltzer, Spencer and Urshela. So, we already pretty much have a defensive-minded player. Actually, not the same level degree. Alright, so we're going to have to go through this offseason a little bit more. Just to kind of see how some things are going to play out. Because we definitely need to try to figure out some situations here with, now this would be a good move. So let me see something. Yeah. Frees up a bit of space for us to be able to. All right, we might have to revisit this, but let's go through, just kind of see where some things shake out. And we really need to kind of bolster the middle of this order. Wonder, because Jock is very good in a platoon situation against right-handers, especially when you compare him to it's kind of the same. All right, anyway, I wonder if approaching kind of the lower end of this market might make more sense for us. Because the thing is that Shohei would definitely give us two aspects of it, right? Which is obviously the whole point. He's a two-way player. But financially speaking, that's a lot of money that's on our books for Shohei. So we have him at $375 for 15. So it makes a big difference. Now, see, we can't even offer this contract because that would put us in quite a terrible place. Alright, so let's keep going here. See, this deal doesn't really make a ton of sense for us because the fact is that this would leave us in such a financial hardship. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to approach a different part of this market. So see if we can't do. All right. So I think that's the avenue that we're going to try to let's reverse now. Is I'm gonna try to get 2 starters for less than what it would have cost me for Ohtani. All right, maybe we try to. It's more so about the starting rotation, and I don't really want to go up into this upper echelon market. But let's see. Yeah, Jack Flaherty is asking for a ridiculous amount of money. But let's see what we can do with a potential offer. Especially if nobody else gives him anything. Now granted, it's still early in the off season, so somebody will probably offer him something. But it doesn't hurt to put that offer in there and see if he'll bite at it. So let's see. All right. So part of this lineup I'm good with. I think that we do need some more help in the middle of the order. But this kind of platoon situation with it's not even a very good platoon situation. So we need a better right-handed DH that plays quite well against lefties. Jorge Alfaro would be a good guy to get, but there's already a big market in there for him right now. Murphy, Mitch Garver. Actually, I think I might offer Ryan Zimmerman might be the guy that I give that offer to platoon as my DH. Escobar isn't bad either. So let me see if I can make him an offer. Platoon. See, because the thing is that the reality, this roster is pretty solid right now. There's not a lot of true vacancies for this Minnesota Twins team right now. I feel like we kind of shored up a lot of what potentially could have been holes for this lineup. Grichuk is definitely a good guy to get for a platoon situation. Let me see. Alright, so we'll go, let's see what we can do, 13, and I'll give you a player option, and we'll see if you take it. Alright. AJ Pollock, lefty killer. All right, so let's go ahead then and take a look Give it a day. Rodon, 9 years, 307.8 to the Angels. Let's see. All right, so AJ Pollock signed. Perfect. So now we're going to go back to the offers. Oh, well, they've rescinded all our offers because we are over the max on our roster limit right now. So we're going to go ahead and kind of free up some space because I do feel like there are other spots on this roster that need some improvement. Most notably, I feel like we need another starter. Cool. So Pollock will come in as my DH against lefties. And say Iglesias will take over a second. So I think that's how we're going to have this kind of play out here offensively. But I want to see our pitching staff because, yeah, we definitely need some starting help. So what I want to do is I'm going to go back to Montgomery. 7 years. I think we offered 100. With the player option. And then Michaelis. Alright. So those are the two that I want to offer that deal to right now. Alright. So let's see how some things play out here. All right. Yes, stop simulating. We already have 40 on the 40-pin roster. But we already checked that. All we need now is figure out whether or not these guys are going to sign with us. All right, Jose Alvarado to the Cardinals, 39.6 for 4 years. Reynaldo Lopez, 4 years, 28.8 to the Mets. Hader re-signed, 5 years, 75. DeGrom re-signed with the Mets, 1 year, 34.7. All right, so we still have our offers out for Jordan Montgomery and Miles Michaelis. We're going to have to make some moves because the reality is we're just not going to be able to maintain this roster as it's currently constructed. So, see if there's any other starters that we can make this move for. I don't know that there necessarily will be. Because you figure right now, a lot of these rosters are still kind of in flux with what they have to offer. And most of the ones that already have contracts are way more than I'm willing to spend. So we'll have to kind of see. Baz is an interesting one. to get Luis Hill from the Yankees. All right, we're going to wait on that for a little bit, see how things play out. Let's make sure everybody got offered arbitration. All right, so all right, our offers are still out there for those guys. Like I said, offensively, I feel like we've set ourselves in a good position. Padres signed Flaherty, 5 years, 117.5. 3 years, 40.2 for Joe Jimenez and the Nationals. Rhys Hoskins re-upped with the Phillies, 4 years, 34. All right, Miles Michaelis did sign our contract. Perfect, 2 years, 18. So that makes it a much better situation right now for us. Perfect. All right, so that makes one or both of these guys expendable in Paddock and Smelter. So we'll have to just see kind of how things shake out. So let's see. It's looking for 9 mil a season. Yeah, I don't know about that. So what's Reynolds looking for? Not completely unreasonable. But I also don't feel like giving him that much right now. Huh. This might actually be the way to go. Let us continue with this offseason. We have too many players on the 40-man roster. Now, all right, here's what we're about to do. We are going to go ahead. Oh, Vogelbach. I already had the guy in-house to DH for me. Forgot about Vogelbach. I certainly did. All right. Okay. All right, let's retool some of this a little bit. And of course. Right. All right, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead. We're going to start looking to Urshela. And honestly, at this point, we got to move Vogelbach because we already signed Pollard for the same role. So, and let's see. All right, and you. The fact that we can almost acquire Felix Bautista with these 3 players is kind of insane to me. But let's see. Okay, this might be the move. All right, let me see if there's any like position players that are better fit. Yeah, I think that's going to end up being the move. It just makes the most sense. Interesting. That was close. Just not really that many though. Yep. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I think that's going to be the move. Yeah, Teoscar would be a nice piece, but I already have that filled in. Yeah. I wonder if there's a different player that I could add to this mix, because Bautista's better than Doval, but he is younger. 3 more seasons of team control, same thing. Yeah, let's just see what it would take. That way we can kind of sim through the regular season and see how things shake out. So we want to try to build out this roster. Okay. I'm actually not mad at this deal, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to push this through. And that should free up our 40-man roster situation. Yep. Perfect. So, actually going to have alright. Cool. So we have a really good bullpen right now. And we're gonna go ahead and just readjust this roster really quickly. So we're gonna send Paddock down. All right, so we don't gotta worry about that part of it. All right, let's go ahead. We avoided arbitration with Paddock, which is good. So he and Smelter are making essentially the same money, but we only have Paddock for 2 more years, where we have Smelter for 3. Well, 4 technically, including this year, but just 1 more season of Paddock under control. So there's 3 more. All right. So let's see. So the reality of the situation is that I don't know that Jordan Montgomery is going to be the best option for us at this point. Only because we already have a ton of guys. And while Montgomery would be more of a top end guy as opposed to a back end of the rotation guy, it just doesn't really seem feasible with the money that we already have on the books. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna skip that. Let's see if we can't negotiate some more here. Let's try to knock out some of the extra years. See if they're willing to take on some of these. Just to kind of see if things will play out a little differently. I'm gonna see kind of how these things play out, and the rest of these guys will take a look. Ian Happ signed with the Cubs, 4 years, 40. Shohei, 10 years, 350 to the Braves. Jordan Montgomery re-signed with the Cardinals, 4 years, 77.6. Tom Murphy got picked up by the Yankees. So this is where we find ourselves right now, and let's go ahead and sim through some stuff here. Blake Snell, 6 years, 85.8 to the Cubs, and what's this? The 5. Matt Chapman, 4 years, 41.2 to the Giants. Frankie Montas, 4 years, 62 to the Rays. Okay. All right. So the Rule 5 draft is over. Let's see. So Caleb Hamilton got picked up from our squad. That's fine. All right. So this is now where we find ourselves. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna keep with the off-season headed Diamondbacks. Jorge Polanco, 4 years, $20 million. Alberto Mondesi, 4 years, 39.6 to the Giants. All right, we re-sign a couple of guys. All right, so that maintains a little bit there. Still some money on books. Reynolds does not want to cooperate. So, yeah, let's do this. Offer that. I'm not offering you that much. Okay. Bring this down. Yeah, no. All right, so let's try to piece this all together. All right, so we're gonna see if we can't get these deals down by a ton. Just to avoid arbitration stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and skip through till the end of the month. Kershaw to the Blue Jays, 1 year, 25.6. Harrison Bader, 4 year, 72 to the Reds. Let's see. So we got quite a few guys to re-up. So not too many that are left headed to arbitration. And in doing so, we bring down the pending offers, which is nice. All right, so we still got a couple of roster spots to fill out. We're gonna wait a little bit more and go through these arbitration cases. And all right, so now that that's all squared away, we have 3 roster spots to fill in for. I typically like to bring on versatile players that have some skill sets that are of a positive nature. So So we're just gonna go ahead with res depth move to 30K because nobody else is gonna pick you up at this point in the off season. Josh Harrison, same deal. And I think I'm going to go Adam Frazier because another guy is super versatile. Platoon situation. All right, so that would be the 3 that we need. And they've all signed. Cool. All right, so our roster is filled out. Let's go ahead and manage the 40. we're going to remove, and oh, Harrison didn't even get added to it, right? Perfect, because we re-signed him. All right, so now we got to figure out let's head over to spring training. All right. All right, one of my scouts, so two of my scouts have decided to retire. Okay, so let's go ahead here. All right, so here we are for a couple of guys we gotta figure out some stuff for. Have about 10 million in available for the budget right now, but the projected surplus is only 5 million. So all right, so we're gonna wait on that part of it. We're gonna line up this roster right now. Okay. I'm actually gonna run through spring training a bit just to see. I just want to see how this rotation is shaking out. Okay. All right. So let's manage this roster now. Start moving guys back to AAA. Okay. All right, so we're gonna try to reorganize this roster a little bit. All right, so now we just need to do the rest of the pitching staff. Okay. Now we gotta figure out all right, so two more. All right, and one more starter has to get sent down. I'm gonna go ahead with Smelter for now. All right, spring training is now over. And we're gonna go ahead to the regular season. All right, so here we are now in the regular season. simulate some things pretty quickly here. Go ahead and sim to the draft. Okay. All right, so we're gonna see where we are at the time of the draft. Kind of reevaluate the roster at that point. Byron Buxton's always getting hurt, man. Always. In real life, in this game, it's just ridiculous the amount of times that this player gets hurt. All right. So now let's head back to the 40. All right, Nick Gordon's going to get the call. And we got to readjust this lineup. Put Reynolds back in center. Rise at DH. Guess we might as well put Donovan in there. All right. All right, let's continue on to the draft. All right, off to the draft we go. We're going to see how things kind of play out from here. So we're going to go ahead and honestly, we're going to auto draft. All right, so go ahead, sign all these prospects. And we're going to go ahead, finish out the month, keeping me still on the injured list. All right, jump ahead. All right, so Buxton is back. So we're going to send Nick Gordon back down. And readjust the lineup again. All right, so we're going to go ahead through the All-Star break, see if we have anybody participating. Devers, nice. And let's see who are our representatives in the All-Star game. So Blake Trinan's here, Felix Bautista, Devers. It. All right, so a little bit of a weak representation here, but we're going to go ahead through the break. Now, so we're 4 games up in the division. And let's see where things are. So our rotation's doing solid, bullpen doing well. See how the lineup's playing out. So we could use some help in the outfield. We could definitely use some help in the outfield. And DH roles. All right. So this is where we're going to leave it off. We're going to leave it off here in the middle of the season in 2024 because we need to kind of revamp our outfield a little bit and our kind of DH spot, because when we look at it right now, none of our outfielders are doing particularly well. Now Tyler O'Neill's doing pretty decent right now this season. Reynolds is producing home runs, RBIs, kind of a low average, but our DH spot is weak. And center field, Byron was hurt as usual, but we don't really have plus options on the bench either for kind of this DH role. So we're going to try to take a look, see if we can add another bat, see what's available. So that's going to be the plan for the next episode. So make sure you keep it locked in here to the Baseball Banter Broadcast as we continue to try to grow this baseball family, this baseball community that we're building here. And as we continue on the Simulation Sunday series, as we try to build the Minnesota Twins into a World Series winner. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Keep it locked in by hitting the subscribe button and the bell to stay notified each and every time we drop a new broadcast here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.